Hi, I'm Vanilla Mwango and my colleague here is
Esther.
We are all news anchors from Makongeni Secondary School.
So we are going to interrogate our principal today about the Makongeni Secondary School, the way it started and the publishment, everything that is in this school. We're going to know what he has for this school, what he has planned for this school.
Yes.
Yeah, that's all. Maybe you can join us in so that we can see our principal and know what he's going to say. Today we come here with my colleague
Vanilla Mwango,
and we need to investigate our principal to know most of the things that we have in this school and how this school is going to be renovated or being established the next 5 or 6 years. So we are going to start the questions from my colleague.
My first question is about the school. When was this school established? Who established it and how did it came to existence?
My name is Dongo Derito, the principal of Makongeni Secondary School. This school was started in 2006. The idea was mooted by the management committee of the 3 local primary schools, Makongeni Primary, Joseph Apundo, and Karoreni. There was also the 4th one, the St. John's. The management committee found that in the area there is no secondary school. So they met for some time and agreed to establish Makongeni Secondary School in Makongeni Primary School. So the registration of the school, interim registration, was obtained in 2007, and then the school was given a few classrooms in the primary school. The TSE sent a head teacher who was Mr. Omondi, and then with the time we started with 3 students for some time. So later, Madam Bismuth was sent an English teacher, and then that's how the school started.
How did you find this school and in which state did you find it? How do you intend to build or rebuild this school in 5 years' time or so?
The school was somehow dilapidated. There was a lot of challenges in the school, owing to the fact that I came during the COVID-19 break. There were so many issues that were happening within the school management. One, there was transition. The immediate former principal was retiring, Mr. Ruseno, and there was that handing over. Workers were away, teachers were away for COVID-19 break, and there were several issues, management issues such as debts and all that. So we agreed with the board of management that we are going to turn around the school, and therefore that's why we started. We said, first of all, we clear the pending debts. We also sought permission from the regional director of education to spend some money for infrastructure development to pay for some debts that were accrued in 2014, 2016, and that one was possible. We did that. The school does not owe anyone anything, and the debts that we have is only for things that the invoices have not been presented. Otherwise, the school is doing well financially. The roof of the school, the classrooms are not in good state. They are in a sorry state. You look at the ceiling, some ceiling in some classes are falling, owing to the roof is made of asbestos. We all are quite aware that asbestos are carcinogenic. So, and they are also leaking. That's why the ceiling is soaked and almost falling. There was no electricity. There was no water in the school. Those are the challenges that we are dealing with. At least we have dealt with some, like shortage water. At least we are able to connect pipe to water in the school. And we are going ahead and repaired some minor issues that are there.
Yeah, based on the funds given by the government, is there any help you get maybe from the MCAs, governors, senators?
There had been a challenge. The money that I'm quite aware of is when the bus was being bought, the deposit, 1 million shillings, was given by CDF. Then there's the ablution block was given by the CDF, and also connection of the ablution block to the sewer line. The other money that came around, it's not money, project, is the Murikamwisi in the school compound. That is the only support from outside that I can be able to, or that is in record, that has happened in this school.
Okay, so you've said about the progresses that you've done in this school since you came, that is water supply, the electricity, and paying the debts, of course. Were there any other progresses that you've done or you ought to do in the next maybe 1 month or 2 months time?
What I've done is quite a lot. It's quite a lot. For one, when I came to this school, there was no proper stores. And therefore, buying things in bulk, which save on cost, was an issue. So I had to discuss with the regional director of education, so that at least we have a makeshift store. You can see now we have a container full of foods, full of textbooks. Is it okay?
Yeah, it is.
And there is also another challenge. The school had fewer classes. We had to make some arrangements such that we can be able to accommodate fewer students in a class. If you go to Form 2 classes last year, there were 70 and above in a class. So we were able to negotiate with the primary school, and we had to shift the lab from where it was and go to the new location where the primary school had the kitchen. Also, we had a store, the furniture store, in between, as a classroom in between the primary school. So we had to make a makeshift store made of mabati so that we can transfer those things to create more room for classroom. So by so doing, we had 2 extra classrooms that now the Form 1s are occupying. The hall, the multipurpose hall, we had to put a temporary partition, movable, so that we also create more classes there. So already we have 2 classes there. Now our school can boast that we are started on a 4th stream. The only challenge we still have, require 2 more classrooms to separate or to redistribute the Form 4s and Form 3 into 4 streams. But because they are not as many as Form 1 and Form 2, they will, for the time being, they will remain intact. There are so many things that we have done that are minor. You are aware that when I came here, the toilets didn't have system. You couldn't flush, there was no water. It's only that the challenge that the students are not gentle. When you make some repairs, then within a very short time everything is broken, especially in the boys' toilets. You look at the sanitation areas, the COVID-19 protocols. We had to have the washing points. At the gate you could see the sinks there that we made. That was the first project when I came, and we managed it. We are also improving on the ground. The grass was taller than me. At least we have maintained the ground to very low level. You also note that we had planted 2,500 trees that never took off because of the drought and the animals we have in the compound. We have some sheep that were not needed. But now the plants that we have planted about 41 fruit tree seedlings that are properly fenced, so that in the next 3-4 years You can be using those trees for fruits, to give the students fruits. My office, the tiles were PVC. They were all coming out, isn't it?
Yes.
At least now the office is smart and all that. We are also fencing the agricultural plot so that the agricultural project, KCSE agricultural project, can be safe. And many other things. Even the beautification in front of the staff room, of the administration block. Now you have flowers growing, well manicured and all that.
Quite a lot of progress.
So regarding about the laboratory, we have complaints about stool and table differing in heights. What do you say about this, and how are you intending to do?
When you shifted the science laboratory from the old home science primary school home science room, at the same time we had applied to the NGCDF to assist us with science laboratories. I'm happy the MP, member of National Assembly, agreed to give us 2 science laboratories. We've already formed the project management committee and we have opened the account. We are just waiting for the NGCDF to deposit the money into the bank, and then we can start the process. I can say that the science laboratories are in the procurement stage. So before the end of the year, we'll have 2 fully equipped science laboratories as per the NGCDF statement. So that's why we decided where we are shifting the new science the science laboratory, where the science laboratory is currently, we didn't want to do any major modification there because it will be a waste of money. Very soon we are going to Arab, where we will have the gas piping, water in plenty, storage in plenty. So that the current laboratory now will convert it to a home science room. That's why the Form 1s have started home science. And also they also have started French. We want to expand our curriculum. So the 2 new subjects Form 1s are taking is home science and French that we are starting. They have already started. We have already procured a teacher. We have already engaged a French CRA teacher to start French in Form 1. And also home science, the deputy principal is a home science geography teacher, so she has started with home science.
So regarding the performance of the students from the time that the school was established, you've said it's 2006, 2007. We've seen that the performance was not quite well, in spite the challenges that you've been facing and so on and so forth. But how do you intend to help the students who are currently in Form 4 and all the others who are from Form 1 to get better grades than the ones that were there before? Reaching Form 4, like what grade do you want them to get? And for us who are in Form 4 right now, how do you intend to help us so that we can get remarkable grades?
When I came, there were no students around. I said I came during the COVID-19 break. That is September last year. And then the Form 4 came thereafter in October. We went with them. Unfortunately, about 40 of them never came back to school. You are aware that so many girls were pregnant, others were lactating. So it was very difficult for us to measure our ability by that Form 4 group, because majority just came to do the KCSE. Once they block for the COVID-19 break, they never come back to school. They just come for the KCSE because they were already registered. We could not have denied them not to sit for the KCSE. So we can give an excuse. Maybe that's why they performed so poorly. But I may not buy that as a person, because the few who are religiously coming to school, they could have done better, isn't it?
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we only managed to have 1 B going for university. Was it a B minus? I'm not sure. A B minus going to university, 4 C, for only 4 Cs. So I may say that I cannot say it is because of COVID-19, because there are some students who blocked for that COVID-19. When the school was reopened, they all came, they attended all the lesson and all that. So there is still other issues that we are trying to investigate why we performed so poorly. So we have put in place several strategies. For one, we are monitoring the teachers' attendance to class. We have done a lot of analysis on the entry behavior of the students, because the excuses has been that we usually admit poor students, but by entry behavior it is not true by that analysis, because the current Form 4, the entry behavior was a C. So my debate with the teachers is that why don't they leave this school with a C? They should not, let us not add value, but just maintain the value. They leave this school with a C. That one will be a mean of 5 plus. Yes. Is it okay?
Yeah.
So that's the debate we are debating. So you are engaging with each and every individual, department per department. We have also engaged the parents. We have held 2 meetings with the parents, the Form 4 parents, the Form 3 parents. We have also tried to increase the contact hours, owing to the fact that the terms are quite short and the coverage of the syllabus is the same. So we are trying to create time so that very early in the morning, late in the evening, weekends, so that at least we see that we can have enough contact hours. Our observation is that the challenge has always been the background. The teacher who feels that they are more experienced allocate themselves the upper classes, the Form 3, Form 4, that's why they want to teach. The teacher with very little experience are the ones that are given Form 1, Form 2 to lay foundation. So the foundation is usually very weak. The foundation of the students, the current student, is very weak because the teacher who taught them in the formative stages, Form 1, Form 2, were a teacher who didn't have better experience. Whereas the teacher with better experience took the examination classes. So the policy that we have undertaken here is that you take your class from Form 1, you take it to Form 4, go for another one in Form 1. So we teach vertically, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that at least we can have that mix. We have also ensured that if we have several number of new teachers in a department, we make sure that if they are in the same department, let's say chemistry, we don't put all the teachers who doesn't have experience across. We have a teacher who has more experience being together with the rest so that he can be a mentor and also can set the pace. There are also other issues that we have tried to teach, the team teaching. It has not yet picked up, but we are doing that. We have also joined caucuses. For example, the current Form 4, the pre-mock, mock, and post-mock will not be internally set. It will be set in a caucus of some schools within Nairobi that have been doing very well. So already some of our teachers in this school have gone to join the other teacher to set the pre-mock. That pre-mock will not be marked by our teachers. That mock will not be marked by our teachers. It will be marked by all the teachers in that caucus, a caucus of 16 schools that have come together. So meaning that a teacher in Makongeni cannot be lying that he or she has covered the syllabus because the exam will betray. The exam will betray. When the exam is done, it will betray that the teacher. You know, one thing is that the principal can only teach 2 subjects, isn't it?
Yes.
So he may not know how far our students are in biology, in history, and all that. So we bank on the word of mouth of the teacher. Is that okay? But now, having joined that caucus, then the teacher are put on toes. That now they have to teach and cover the syllabus. Because the other school would set the syllabus up to where it is supposed to at that point. So if our school is lagging behind, then we'll know. So that way is also a motivation to the teachers. It's also a motivation to the teacher to work much harder, look for more time to cover the syllabus. The other thing is the parents are also supporting. We have agreed with the parents and they are supporting that strategy that we are undertaking. We'll also do a lot of revision. So that we make sure that the student are well prepared for the exam.
Okay. And due to COVID-19, is the school affected in terms of clubs or games?
COVID-19 is a very challenging disease. I'm happy that in our school we don't have aged teachers. I'm one of the oldest teachers in this school. The rest are quite young, below 40, few in 40, below 50, and only 2, 3 above 50. So we at least have a very good generation of teachers who are very energetic, who can really produce resource and all that. So the challenge we are having with COVID-19 is that they don't want to be vaccinated because obviously they are not very much affected by COVID-19. At least we had a teacher who tested COVID-19 positive. He recuperated and he's okay. He's back in teaching. We also had a support staff who got COVID-19. Yeah, she went and now she's okay. So what I'm happy about is that at least more than 70% of the teachers have now been vaccinated. So the challenge we are having is the students. The students doesn't want to wear masks, and if they wear a mask, they don't wear it properly. Washing of hands, they are not observing the COVID-19 protocol strictly. They only pretend they are when in the neighborhood of a teacher, but when the teacher goes, that one is gone. So at least the good thing is about the COVID-19 is that it's not affecting seriously the young generation. I know most of our students here are COVID-19 positive, but they are just asymptomatic. So that's the challenge that we are having. So they cannot be affected so seriously by the COVID-19. So I think that's the much I can say about COVID-19. Otherwise, we are taking all necessary precautions. We are providing everything. The sanitizers are there, but the parents have to provide the masks.
Okay, so what do you think about the school flag, since you had asked us as Form 4s to choose the colors and the patterns of the flag? So is it going to take place or what?
Those are important things in the tradition of the school. You should have a school flag, should have a school song, anthem, and so on. And even you can see in the modification, we have 3 flag posts. One for the national flag, one for the school flag, the other one for the East African community flag. So that idea is there. So we wanted to have, I'd say that you design a flag. And then I was told that long ago there used to be a school flag. So I'm waiting for Mr. Mandela to give me the flag, just to see, because there is no need of reinventing the wheel.
Yeah.
Although he was arguing that the flag was only used when they are going for football matches. If it represents the image of the school, then you can still adopt it. Otherwise, we are still in the process of designing a school flag as well as a school anthem.
For me, I'm finished with my question. If I may ask, any colleague here who has a question to ask? Okay, Esther, you can take it.
Okay, if there is no question, I opt to, you should introduce yourselves. Maybe we should start with this side.
Okay, I'm Mustafa Ali. I'm from 3A, member of Journalism Club.
I'm Makongeni.
Collins from 4B. I'm Anthony Juma from 4B.
I'm Ed Kodamo from 4B.
I'm Daisy again from 4B.
So I said earlier, I'm Vanilla Mwango from 4A.
And as you all know me as Jared from 4A. So our principal is the journalism team, journalism club, who made this work successful the way you can see it. So it was nice interrogating you, and we see you know quite a lot about this school, and yeah, we can see the future plans are bigger and better, right?
It has been so good. Things doesn't start when you qualify, isn't it?
Yeah.
You have to have aspiration, you have to have a vision, you have to have an ambition. Is it okay?
Yeah.
So whatever you're doing is good. That's how you become proper journalist when the time comes. I remember one of my former students used to mimic me. Immediately I addressed students in the parade, he would go into a classroom and start mimicking me, my S and H, mother tongue interference, S and H, S and H. He could do it very well and speak like me, word by word. Today he's a comedian in KTN. So things don't just, talent start from very far. You may have the talent, but you have never gotten an opportunity to realize that talent. For him, initially I would feel so bad. But when I realized what he is doing, I realized there's a talent in him. I started encouraging him. I could even go and tell him, mimic a certain teacher. And he could do it very well. Currently, he earns a lot of money in KTN. He's a comedian there. So whatever you are doing, you are creating your future. Is it okay?
Yeah.
Journalism is a very good profession. I've always had some people, my two nieces are journalists, one finished my university in May, the other one is in Kenyapori almost completing. My younger brother, my last brother, is a journalist. He was working with Loyal Media, the other one who started the vernacular stations, although now he's currently in business. Journalism is an area to venture. Is it okay?
Yes.
Yeah, it's an area to venture. You are doing very well. People are making a lot of money in YouTube and all that. So venture in it. Yeah, that's where the employment is.